Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed Fight Night, and we have another OP06 match here for you guys. We have Sakazuki on the left-hand side versus Gecko Moria on the right. I recently did a poll about the most boring matches to watch, and actually these two were the head of the pack. So I do apologize if you are watching this match and you're like, yo, I gotta skip this one. No harm, no foul. But I do want to say this is a pretty good match here, and we're gonna start off with things with that Sindri here. We got a couple good mills here. We have the Absalom as well as double Absalom, triple Absalom. Oh my goodness. And yeah, we're going to go ahead and pass turn. We're going to see the brand new coming into play here. We are going to go ahead and grab the Hound Blaze. And with one active Dom, we might just see a 6k swing, but we are going to go ahead and pitch the Ama here to draw an extra card. And we see a simple 5k swing. And it looks like we are going to counter with that Hogback. And now we see the Tashigi coming down. It's pretty insane here that with one active Dawn, with the inclusion of Tashigi, usually for most of the times we'd have that weird one or two weirdly placed Dawn for Sakazuki, and now that just kind of fills the roles. And now we do end up grabbing the stage for that from that Tashigi. Now the stage is actually super helpful in this matchup, just because the characters are pretty low to the floor, and this is actually smoothens things out like incredibly a lot more. So we're gonna see how things go. We see a 7k swing going into life. We use the ability here, and we're gonna get the hog back to go ahead and bottom deck two cards to grab back the 8 cost Gecko Moria, and that 7k swing does end up connecting. Now Coraline Park here on the left with 3 life left, not too bad, things just getting warmed up here. We're gonna use the ability here to pitch the 4 cost Kuzan, and with 5 active Dawn we have quite a few plays. We might end up seeing maybe possibly a Sabo coming down, maybe a 5k swing plus Sabo, or maybe we want to clear the hog back. Not too sure exactly, but with 2 Dawn we are going to swing 5k into life. It looks like we are going to decide to go pretty wide here. We might see 3 5k swings, actually. Very possible here. So we end up countering out of that with that that brand new, I'm sorry. And yes, it does end up connecting here, going down to full 4 life, and now we see the stage, and we're gonna Ama both of them back to the bottom of the deck. Now, yeah, that was a very interesting play. I think most times you kind of want to keep the Ama for a bigger play, but maybe just kind of wanting to just remove the board, kind of clear things out. And we do see the Sindri coming back down. Unfortunately, I think they were all almost all Navy cards, but we are going to see an AK swing. Now I'm assuming we go for a life. I don't think we hit the brand new for 8. I mean, we might. Hey. We might end up doing so. I guess really it all depends here. But what are we going to go ahead and bring back? And it looks like we are going to go ahead and bring back possibly that Absalom. We're going to pitch, and we see the Absalom as well as the Perona. So we're going to bring back the Perona here. Coraline Park's going to have to pitch the 4 cost Kuzan, and he actually ends up swinging at the brand new. I guess he didn't want to just continuously have so much pressure to deal with. And now with that Perona on the board, we do have an additional 5k body on the board. Now, I imagine with Sakazuki here, Sakazuki's all about controlling the board, even more so than Gecko Moria. And we are going to start things off with a Sabo, actually. So we most likely will not see the Hound Blaze, but we actually can now with the stage. We could swing 5k into life, drop it down to 3, use stage, drop it down to 2, and then Hound Blaze it away. Very possible here. So that 5k swing does end up, oh wow, we actually end up doing exactly what I said. So 5k swing does end up connecting here, bottom decking the Perona, and now there is no Peronas in the trash for this Gecko Moria player, which is obviously really good if you are Coraline Park. Now, I do want to say the trash is still pretty stacked there. We have a ton of cards. I think he played 2 Sindris, plus a couple of the leader abilities here. But we're going to swing an easy 5k swing. We're going to go ahead and block with that Sabo, and now we see 2 into 2. It does go down, and now we have the Gecko Moria grabbing back the Hogback as well as the brand new. We are going to go ahead and mill 3, grab that Ice Age, and with the Hogback, we're going to put down 2 event cards, and most likely grab another 8 cost Moria, because why not? We can absolutely do that. And yes, we do end up doing so. We didn't end up punching through life here, but it doesn't really matter. We established an incredibly big board here, and as well as grabbing another follow-up play for the following turn. pretty good here, pretty good. And so now Coraline Park here, I believe he's at 9 Dawn, since I did think he ended up going first here. And yes, he did end up going first. And so we are going to use a leader ability here to pitch through brand new to get a quick cycle going, which is, I believe he grabbed the Virgo off of that. This is a bit of a think turn here for Coraline Park, so we're going to see exactly how he wants to approach this. I imagine we're going to try to bottom deck that Gecko Moria. We don't have too much of a big board here, but we do see 2 going into 2. I imagine it goes down. I don't think we pitch a card for that, for the Sindri. But we do see a 5k swing here going into life, making the Hogback a 3 cost. We most likely, like I said, we will see a combo probably with that stage to make it a 2 cost eventually. But let's go ahead and see. It looks like this is a 5k into life, ignoring the brand new. And let's see here exactly what we end up doing here. And my man Yaya has like 3. Look at 3 Gecko Morias in hand. But we do see Coraline Park's very own Gecko Moria here, grabbing the Kuzan as well as the brand new, grabbing Tashigi off brand new, and then drawing a card off Kuzan, and then going at it and playing another Tashigi. We just ended up drawing like essentially 3 cards that turn off of that Gecko Moria. Really, well, 2 off of the Gecko Moria. Really, really good here for Coraline Park, being able to kind of draw a couple more cards to set himself up for next turn. So now here with this Gecko Moria player, we have a pretty established trash. We don't have any Peronas, but since we are going to most likely play the Gecko Moria this turn, since he did end up grabbing one, it's looking pretty good. He already has a Gecko on board plus a 5k body, so we probably will see maybe him trying to go for the other Gecko Moria, his the opposing Gecko Moria. But we see the Ice Age coming down, hitting the Sabo. Might have actually wanted to swing with the Sabo just so that we get some sort of value off of that thing. But we are going to see the ACOS Gecko Moria coming into play. We're going to see the Hamepo, and then we're actually going to pop both the Kuzan as well as the Sabo off of that Rob Lucci ability. Bottom taking 3 cards off of that. And now we see an easy 5k going into brand new. It goes down, and I'm assuming we see possibly a 9k swing, a 6k swing actually going first. It does be countered, and then we see the Gecko Moria being taken, actually connecting. So now Coraline Park is now sitting at 2 life, 2 Yaya's 3. Now finally Coraline Park is at 10 active Dawn, and that's a lot of Dawn. That's a lot of Dawn for Sakazuki. Sakazuki can definitely do quite a few things. The question is, does he have all the pieces? I know that some stage lists are running Ice Age, but for the most part, they kind of really aren't. They're kind of relying on the -1 off leader plus stage plus Hina to kind of get rid of the bigger bodies. So let's see here exactly what we can do to kind of get rid of this board, or possibly do some damage, right? So with 4 Dawn currently in Coraline's hand here, JK, we're going back to 2. We might end up seeing a pretty big swing going into possibly the Rob Lucci. There's just too many threats on this Gecko Moria's board. There's just way too many. So it looks like we are going to swing 6k going into that Rob Lucci, and then minusing 1 cost off of that Gecko Moria. Now we're just trying to get probably cards out of his hand. I don't think he's planning on swinging into the Rob Lucci for actual removal here, but we are going to use stage here to make it a 6 cost. And now we're going to bring out the Rebecca to grab ourselves the Sabo back to hand, and we're going to play the Hina to hand from hand, making it a 2 cost. And now we see the Houndblaze to bottom deck it, and now we're possibly thinking about swinging 12k into the opposing Gecko Moria character. But I think we're kind of deciding how much we want to devote here for the swing. He could swing 12k into the Gecko Moria and then 5k into the Hogback, but no, we are going to go ahead and attach a bit more Dawn, make sure that it goes down, and then play the Tashigi to pass the turn, grabbing a Suru off of that Tashigi. Not too bad. Grabbing a 2k is pretty good, and you're able to get rid of both Gecko Morias. That's pretty good. You got rid of it. It's a 2-for-1 special here at DXN, and this is grand finals here. the two best black decks in the format right now. I would love to hear you guys' thoughts and opinions. Which deck do you think is the better version right now, Sakazuki or Gecko Moria? Very interested to see what you guys think. So the 6k swing does end up being counted off that Tsuru, and now my man Yaya only has a couple cards in hand. It's actually looking pretty thin here. We see a 6k swing going into the Hina. He's debating whether he wants to let it go or not. Now we still have that Raul Lucci that can swing, plus plus he actually has two more Gecko Morias in hand. That's actually insane. Pretty nuts here, and it looks like we are going to swing 6k into life, and we're going to go ahead and take this actually. And now we see the Gecko Moria coming out, and now my man Crawling Park is probably thinking to himself, man, I probably should have just blocked that. But no, not to worry, we are going to go ahead and play just the Rebecca as well as the brand new. The brand new does look like it did end up missing. Off of that Rebecca, we're going to grab the Perona and not play anything and just pass the turn. Not too bad here, just grabbing a couple more resources. Unfortunately, that brand new missing is a bit unfortunate, but Crawling Park does, obviously it's looking good for him in that situation. Let's see here if what he can do to kind of clean up this board, or possibly start to apply some pressure at life, because if you didn't notice, Gecko Moria is still at 3 life, and that's pretty big compared to the 1 that the Sakazuki player does have. So with 8 Dawn, it looks like we are going to play our very own Gecko Moria once again, grabbing the Tsuru and as well as a Hina to make that Gecko Moria extremely small, to then play the Houndblaze to bottom deck it. And it looks like we might end up swinging 9 into that 6, and it looks like it probably will go down. This is 2 cards here. And he's gonna go ahead and block with that Rebecca. Now we've seen AK swing going into 6. This is just 2 cards out of hand. We know he has the Perona since he did grab it earlier, and yes, we see the Perona as well as the Borsalino. Now he could have also did swing. He could have swung with the Hogback swung into the Hogback if he really wanted to, but decided not to. He wanted to get rid of the bigger threat. So not too bad here. I think both are kind of fun. The safer pick obviously is the Hogback, but I understand wanting to go for the 6k because now that we saw a 7k swing with 1 Dawn only, and that's pretty incredible if you're trying to apply a ton of pressure. So I'm really curious to see here what his process is right now, just because I'm assuming we're just trying to go for game now. I think he's not really trying to press the Gecko Moria, and yeah, we see an AK swing going into life. He does end up taking it. Not too worried about seeing the Rebecca being removed, or he just has enough counter. So we see a pretty big swing here, and it looks like we swing 3 into 3, and now we see the Sabo coming down, drawing 2 and trashing 2, trashing the Hina as well as the ACOS Gecko Moria. My man Yaya has seen all his Gecko Morias this game. Pretty fantastic here. And now we see the Hina coming down, and do we have the Houndblaze? Yes, we do. And it looks like Crawling Park actually might be going for game here. He might not have an extra blocker, so this is kind of do or die for him. So we see an 8k swing going into life. It connects, and followed by another 9k swing. It does connect. Does he have the counter for the following Gecko Moria swing? And he does, and that's going to be it, guys. Thank you guys so much for checking out this channel, this video, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new OP06 content coming out soon. See ya!